Hello everyone, I am Ankit and you're watching StudyIQ IAS English channel. Now we understand few days back there was this brutal terrorist attack on innocent civilians and tourists in the city of Pahalgam, and this left 26 Indian citizens and also few foreign nationals dead. Now this attack was an attack not just on the tourists but an attack on India, and naturally Indian government had to retaliate against Pakistan with something. So, in its first step of its retaliation, Indian government implemented certain diplomatic measures. First was suspending the implementation of Indus River Water Treaty, which was between India and Pakistan. And another retaliation was declaring few of the Pakistani diplomats in India as persona non grata. So, what does this term persona non grata means, particularly in diplomatic lexicon? Let us try to find that one out in our today's discussion. But first, let me tell you the context of our today's discussion. Now, following the terrorist attack in Pahalgam, Indian government had downgraded its diplomatic relations with Pakistan. So earlier Pakistani diplomats' strength in India, it was 55 and now it is reduced to 30. Similarly, India has also downscaled its diplomatic presence in Islamabad. Also, India designated few of its Pakistani diplomats, particularly the diplomats that belong to defense or military, naval or air advisors in the Pakistani High Commission, and it has designated them as persona non grata. And these people who have been declared as persona non grata now have a week to leave India, and also India will be withdrawing its own defense attaches posted in Islamabad and bringing them back to India. So this brings my attention to this term persona non grata. So let us quickly understand this term. Now this persona non grata term, it is derived from a Latin phrase known as unwelcome person. So this has a specific meaning in diplomacy, which means if a host country declares any foreign person or a foreign diplomat as a persona non grata, that means that person's presence in the host country is now prohibited. So this means that the Pakistani diplomats who have now been declared as persona non grata, their entry is now prohibited in India. Now, where does this term persona non grata comes from? Now, the diplomatic relations between any two countries, be it India or Pakistan, or for that matter any two foreign countries also, they are governed as per the provisions of 1961 Vienna Convention on Diplomatic Relations. Now this Vienna Convention, it lays down the ground rules on how the diplomats are to be treated in their host country. For example, it gives diplomats few rights and privileges in the host country, and once these persons are designated as persona non grata, these means the rights and privileges which are available to normal diplomats will not be extended to them. Now this persona non grata is very much present also in the Vienna Convention, that is in Article 9 of the treaty, which says that the host country can declare a member of the diplomatic staff of the foreign country as persona non grata at any time of its choosing and without having to explain this decision to the foreign country. So it is the sole prerogative of the host government, that in case this was the sole prerogative of Indian government, whether it wants to keep a certain diplomat in India or declare them as persona non grata and send them away. So let us first understand what are the rights and privileges that are available to diplomats posted in a foreign country, and also how these rights and privileges are then withdrawn after they are declared as persona non grata. Now suppose you're an Indian IFS officer who is posted, let's say in US, right? So you have certain rights and privileges. Similarly, foreign diplomats who are present in India also, they have similar rights and privileges. What are these rights and privileges? Let us deal with them one by one. First right and privileges that is available to them is inviolability of a person, which means diplomatic agents who are present in your country, they are protected from arrest, detention and prosecution except for actions that are taken outside the official duties. So for example, if a diplomat is performing any official duty, the host country can't arrest, detain or prosecute them. That is, the police and armed forces, they can't take them into arrest and detention, and the judiciary can't even prosecute them. Similarly, they are immune from local jurisdiction, that is diplomat, they are generally immune from any civil or criminal liability in the host country, although there are some exemptions. We are not getting into what are the exemptions, which is beyond the scope of our today's discussion. Now, for example, you're a foreign diplomat posted in India, and suppose you're driving an official car and you jump the traffic signal. Now you understand, in India and also in the foreign countries, jumping the traffic signal is a punishable offence, either by a monetary penalty or by a jail term. But that diplomat, just because he is immune to local jurisdiction, won't be subjected to any fines or any imprisonment in India just because he violated the traffic rules. And similarly, other criminals and civil jurisdiction, they are also not applicable to foreign diplomats. Also, these diplomats, they need to be free whenever they are conversing with their host governments or whenever they are conversing with their home governments, right? So that is why they are also provided with freedom of communication. That means diplomats who are posted in a foreign country, they can send coded messages to their home country, and also they can send couriers with diplomatic pouches. Now these diplomatic pouches, whenever they are sent over the airport, that means that the law enforcement agencies can't search the contents of those diplomatic pouches. So anything that you kept in the diplomatic pouches, it won't be searched by the foreign country to ascertain the contents of the pouches. And this provides the diplomats the freedom to communicate with their home country without any fear from the host country. Understand? Also, these diplomats have the inviolability of the premises, which means their diplomatic offices, that is high commissions and the embassies, and also their official residences, they are protected from intrusion and damage by the host country. So suppose the law enforcement agency in Delhi, that is Delhi police, it can't enter the premises of any foreign diplomat, that is their residences, or it can't even enter the high commissions and embassies of the foreign country, because that territory for all legal purposes is the territory of the home country, not of the host country. So for example, the High Commission of Pakistan located in New Delhi is technically not a territory of India, rather it is a territory of Pakistan. So therefore, Indian law enforcement agencies, be it Delhi police or any other investigative agency, they can't even enter that territory. Also, diplomats are given tax exemptions. That means, for example, if a diplomat is earning the salary, they won't be paying taxes to India, rather they will be paying taxes to their home countries. But there are some exemptions also. Suppose if a diplomat goes to a mall in Delhi and buy the watch, so technically that diplomat will have to pay GST on that watch, that is applicable. But majorly the taxes are exempted on them. And also these diplomats are provided with freedom of movement and travel, that they are free to move in and around the host country subjected to certain national security regulations. So suppose there are many areas in India which are prohibited even for citizens. So even the diplomats of the foreign country can't visit those areas. For example, like some islands in Andaman and Nicobar and the inner line permit regions in the northeastern part of the country. So these rights and privileges which are available to diplomats normally, these are revocated once a person is declared as persona non grata. Therefore, the country may refuse to recognize these persons as a member of the mission. Therefore, the rights and privileges which I've already told you are not available to persons who have been declared as persona non grata. Now, this application of persona non grata is not just limited to persons who are right now present in the country. You can even declare a person persona non grata even before they arrive in the soil of your own country, right? So this is how the consequences of persona non grata declaration is. You essentially deny them the rights of being a diplomat in the country. Now the next question that might appear in your mind, when can a person be declared as a persona non grata? Do they need to do something illegal or something of an offensive nature that leads to their declaration? The answer is no. Because if you read the Vienna Convention, there are no fixed rules regarding when a country can declare other diplomats as persona non grata. So it is actually the sole prerogative of the host country, that in this case it was India's prerogative, whether and when they want to declare the persons as non grata. And historically, you'll see that countries have used this provision to express their discontent with the actions of other nations. For example, during Cold War, both Russia and US, they were involved in expelling their other countries' diplomats from their own country by declaring them persona non grata. Similarly, in recent times, China and Canada were involved in a diplomatic spat where first Canada started by declaring a Chinese diplomat as a persona non grata and accused them of interfering in its own election. And similarly, China did the same with a Canadian diplomat posted in Shanghai. Also, historically, India particularly declared a member of the Pakistani High Commission as a persona non grata on the charges of him committing spy for in Pakistani country, right? So this is how countries have used it to express discontent with the actions of any foreign nation. So India has also used this to express discontent of Pakistan using terrorism as an instrument to damage India's own national security, right? Now the next big question is, can a person who is a civilian in nature be declared as persona non grata? Because from our previous example, we understood the persons belonging to diplomats, like that is civilian diplomats or even members of the armed forces who are posted as diplomats in the foreign country, they have been declared as persona non grata. But yeah, you'll be surprised to know that even civilian people can be declared as persona non grata, because this provision is not just limited to diplomats. For example, in 1997, a famous Hollywood actor Brad Pitt is this person, he was declared as persona non grata by China because he starred in a film known as 7 Years in Tibet, and China's government did not like this film at all. However, this ban was lifted later on in 2014, and also current US President Donald Trump, long before he became the President of the United States, he was declared as a persona non grata by the Municipal Council of Panama City because he said that America was indeed stupid to hand over Panama Canal for nothing to the government of Panama. So this is how even the civilian peoples can be designated as persona non grata, as you can see from these two examples. Now I hope I've made this thing clear to you. Let's see if you are able to solve this question. This is the question that you have to solve. Please let me know the correct answer in the comment section, and if you haven't subscribed us yet, do not forget to subscribe it and like this video if you want to watch similar informative videos on any topic that has been in news. So this is all from my side. I'll see you again. Please have a very good night.